First thing I've got to ask you, or maybe tell you, is that I got a puppy about 2 months ago. Any good tips from a veterinarian to be about raising a puppy?
I don't know, just be really consistent. I'm so jealous that you have a puppy, but I know that's really difficult.
I'll tell you what, I don't know, this may be an NCAA violation of some sort, but I'll rent him to you.
Oh, I would love that.
All right, so you're still going to go to vet school and do all that kind of stuff?
Yes, that's my plan.
Have you applied yet? Is it difficult to get into?
It is. It's very competitive. I applied this past summer, and so I should be hearing from vet schools like around now and like later in the winter.
Zinka Durich the other night said during our halftime, she talked about how difficult it was to get into physical therapy school. Can you give people an idea what the odds are of getting in, or who they accept mostly?
They accept obviously people that have participated a lot in like extracurricular activities.
Oh, really?
And have participated in a lot of work in the veterinary field already. So it takes a lot of experience, and because they want the students coming in to know exactly what it is before applying and before getting in. But it is very hard. Right now the vet school is a little bit more competitive than med school as of right now.
Really?
Because there's so few vet schools compared to medical schools.
Okay, that makes sense.
But the odds are higher. I mean, you have to look at, when they say that a certain percentage get in, you have to look at the amount of students that are applying that don't have all the requirements.
Right.
And so they add those to the percentage that
Okay.
say they don't get in, but they really shouldn't even be applying in the first place.
Well, like Zinka was saying in her field that it's the older students that generally get accepted, and she being a little bit younger, she doesn't know how that will favor her. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, typically if you apply once and don't get in and then apply again, you'll get in.
Okay.
Because they know you're very serious about it and they don't take it for granted. But I don't know. It'll depend. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm very excited to see, and I think I have a good chance. We'll see. I like to be more positive about it.
There's positive, and then there's the reality of it, so I guess that's part of it. Hey, well, you told the story last year, but would you tell it again, please, about how you came to be interested in working in the veterinary field?
My dog, I've always wanted to be a vet. I've always been so intrigued by animals and all aspects of life, but my dog got really sick when I was in middle school, and he went through a lot of surgeries. They said he was going to die, and then he ended up actually surviving, and they said he was a miracle puppy, and he's still here today.
Really?
Yes, it's very exciting.
Oh, that is neat. That is neat. All right, so do you ever project animal personalities onto people? I mean, do you look and say, well, there goes an aardvark, or something dumb like that? Do you look at life a little bit differently as a veterinarian?
I think I do. I think it's hard not to consider people a little bit animalistic in certain ways. So, especially a biology major,
Right.
You just see a lot of animal aspects in human.
Well, what kind of animal would you be?
Oh, I don't know.
I think I'd probably be a walrus or something.
I could see that.
Yeah, I can see that too. So, all right. So let's talk about your extracurricular activity, basketball. You're a senior now, and have things changed for you with the way you approach the game, or any of that kind of stuff as you go into your senior year?
I'm not sure. I think I approach it. It's basically the same to me. I think that it's just a great sport that I still love to this day, and I'm just excited to go out there every day and be able to play basketball, and I feel like I maybe cherish these moments a little bit more being a senior.
Because you know the clock is ticking, that kind of thing, yeah.
Yes.
Do you feel, because others have told me this, that at a certain point your body starts to feel differently about playing basketball?
For sure.
Really?
I feel like a senior. Like
You
a
do?
senior,
Oh,
not just
okay.
a senior. Everything is sore so much earlier than usually and a lot longer, and you can just tell that my body's like, well, this is your last year, good luck.
There's a lot of mileage involved. And people will say, okay, well, the games are 40 minutes long and everything, but it's all the practices, it's all the conditioning and all the kind of stuff you have to do to get ready to play.
Yes, this preseason, I don't think I've been more sore for a consistent period of time.
Okay, in high school, did you play any other sports besides basketball?
Yeah, I played volleyball, and then freshman and sophomore year, I did track as well. So.
Okay, all right, so you had a lot of experience. Any idea or thought maybe you'll coach, maybe some way to distant day, your own kids or something like that? Will you do that?
Maybe in, like, rec,
Yeah.
but I don't think I'd ever do, like, competitive I don't know. I've never even really thought about coaching. I think it's a cool thing. I would maybe be an assistant at some point, or,
Sure.
like, if somebody asked for help, I would go and help at a practice, but I don't think I'd ever be, like, a head coach. I think that's just not for me.
Okay, back to being a senior athlete.
Yes.
You know, that graduation day is not too far away. What are you going to be thinking about as you sit there ready to walk across the stage?
I don't know. I think that it'll definitely be bittersweet. I think that hopefully I'll be thinking about my future, and I'm ready to go into the real world and
Right.
maybe study some more if I get the chance. And I don't know. It'll just be really like, wow, Jewel's over, but I think I'm ready for the real world.
You know, Jewel prides itself, and I guess this is too leading a question. I probably shouldn't ask it, but I'll ask it anyway. Jewel prides itself on preparing people for the real world, and our graduates have a high degree of success afterwards. Has your experience been that?
Yeah, I think so, for sure. I think that there's always, you hear about students from other schools, and they're like, oh, I'm not ready to graduate, I'm not ready. And I'm like, well, I think I'm ready, and I think I'm ready for that next step in life, as I think Jewel has prepared me for that.
When you become a veterinarian, will you leave me your card so I can bring my puppy to you?
100%.
I would trust you above a lot of people.
Oh my
so.
gosh, I appreciate that.
Kenzie, thanks so much for visiting with us. And we'll be back with more in just a moment.